Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm gonna put you all over here. I'm coming at you with a long form podcast talk type of video, and I remember I forget what movie it was. I think it was in whatever it was. It was me and my uncle and a bunch of other friends were watching a movie, and this daughter had like a lunch with her dad, and she just said like, "Oh, like I love you," and he's getting like emotional. I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a dad. It's sweet." And like, I can kind of understand it because I live with a kid and she's pretty awesome, and yeah, yeah, those types of things are fun. But I don't know if I'd get emotional over that. But I got me to thinking, what forms of media have gotten me emotional? And I'm trying to think. And at first I thought, like, okay, well, definitely Pokemon, but okay, yeah, Bye Bye Butterfree episode, and that one episode where they're all cold and Ash tries to take his shirt off and put the Pokeballs inside his shirt, and then they all come out, oh, we'll all be cold together, like, oh, that's sweet. But a lot of it really didn't. I guess what I didn't appreciate certain things when I was a kid. Like, I didn't appreciate, like, how sad the Bye Bye Butterfree was, or, like, the sacrifice that sometimes Ash makes. So a lot of things I didn't really get emotional to until like I was older. And it's like, oh, I can empathize with your feelings now better. Not that I was like a psycho serial killer or when I was a kid, or I was like, oh yes, no feelings, never feel sad. Um, so a lot of things were, and some of them might surprise. Like there was an episode, it's a movie, Annabelle in like 2017. It was the same year it came out, and I remember that in one of the scenes, spoilers for Annabelle from 2017 if you haven't seen it yet. One of the girls has like polio, and obviously it's a timepiece, however many years ago, and it she's best friends with this other girl, and obviously the doll's in there just killing everyone. But one of the nights she says like, hey, and they're all both in a foster home, and she's like, hey, listen, no one's going to adopt me when I have polio. And we love each other like sisters, but I can't be with you if I'm just not going to be friends with you, because if we try to go together, they're not going to adopt you because they don't want to deal with me. So she gives her favorite doll and say like, when you get adopted, always think of me with this doll. And they switched dolls with her, and I was like, oh my god, that fucking like whoosh. I was like, geez. And my girlfriend at the time, Heidi, she's like, you okay? And I was like, girl, give me a minute. Because it was just like pretty much knowing that she's gonna die, pretty much knowing that just she's gonna have this disease with her, like always. It's like, oh man, and just self-sacrifice, like, remember me. It's like, oh, my heart. Um, Another one, which all these have to do with women, I don't know why. BoJack Horseman. For those of you that don't know, that is one of the greatest animated television shows of all time. Like, obviously, it's meant for adults, and Avatar, which I still love. Avatar: The Last Airbender is meant geared a little more towards for kids, but definitely has some adult themes in there, especially Korra. Avatar is one of those shows that have like I think 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for each season. So one season's like 98%, 99%. BoJack Horseman is, I think, has the same thing. Like, it is one of so much effort goes into it. It is about an aging actor, a little past his prime, but he has some substance abuse issues, partly from being famous, and again, spoilers for the show if you haven't seen it. Partly because he had a really rough childhood, but you don't know that at first. All you know is like, oh, here's a celebrity that got famous, and this is what fame does to you. You're alcoholic. You do drugs, but no, it's like it goes deeper into that, saying like, okay, also because he can never feel fulfilled, because he was always told that he was good for nothing. He was no good. He was like the bane of his parents' existence. Why they weren't happy, and why they basically all of his parents' problems got blamed on him. They got put on him. He had to deal with his parents' problems. So, and you don't know that at first. And also, like, half of the characters on BoJack Horseman are animals. Like, it's an animated show, and they're all, it's all, everything's animated. The people are animated. The 15, yeah, the people are animated, and the animals are animated, but they make it work. The jokes are hilarious. They're hysterical. The character is very sympathetic. There's and you see like a character and like, oh, that's a stereotypical. Oh, I guess they have that. And like, no, all the characters have deep layers, and there's. But anyway, I'm going too much on about the show. Princess Carolyn, she's an agent. She's an aging agent as well. She's like 40. Is trying so hard to have a kid, and she has miscarriage. And this one episode, she has it's an episode like from the future, from her great granddaughter's point of view. It says like, hey, this is a story about how my great grandmother, Princess Carolyn, always, she took a beating on this day and she persevered. And she's going throughout the whole story, filling out the world for the class. And at the end of it, after the granddaughter narrates that Princess Carolyn, and she's a cat, and her boyfriend at the time, they were trying for a baby, and she had a miscarriage, but she had many miscarriages before and doesn't have too many eggs left. And she's narrating all this, and she's like, she called her good friend BoJack to comfort her through it. And then BoJack has a bad day, so Princess Carolyn says to him, you know what I do when I have a bad day? I like to imagine that my great granddaughter is telling her whole class about me and how I persevered and how everything's good. Because everything had to turn out good, or else she wouldn't be alive. And then BoJack says, but it's fake. It's not real. And she said, yeah, but it makes me feel better. And you realize that whole episode was just her trying to make herself feel better. And oh my God, that, like, I was like crying. I was drinking too. And I was like, Princess Carolyn. Speaking of, all right, Supernatural. If you haven't seen this show, don't. This show will make you drink. This show will make you want to commit seppuku. It is so. Sam and Dean, two brothers. Again, spoilers. Sam and Dean, two brothers. They die like all the time in this show. And there's one character called Charlie that they introduced in one of the later seasons. And then one episode, like, Dean's like under a spell or whatever, and Dean kills her. He kills Charlie while he's under this spell. And I call my friend Autumn, hysterically crying. I was like, you motherfucker, you did this to me. You're the reason I feel this way right now. I hate you. I hate you very, very much. And she's like, sorry. And then, again, spoilers, like 3 seasons later, there's this whole other apocalypse world, but it's a different world, different universe. And then Charlie comes back. I was like, Charlie! And then I call her friend. I was like, guess what? Charlie's back. She's like, I held that in for months because she knew, because she watched it before I did. I still haven't seen the final. I've seen like 4 episodes of the final season. I can't bring myself to do it. I know that's gonna toss my mental health off a cliff. So those 3 things, yeah. So we have Annabelle, we have BoJack Horseman, and we have Supernatural. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think those are the only things that come to mind right now. Obviously, there are Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is so good. One of the best animes that I have. It gets you in the feels, man, because a lot of these people in Fairy Tail that are part of a guild. Basically, again, everyone's animated because it's an anime. They're these young people, and a lot of them don't have family, but they have a sense of magic. Some magic wielders, some have like the control of the elements. They can all do different things, and they're not adults. They're not like little kids, but they are part of this guild, and that's their family. And as someone who was adopted and never really felt, accepted by, one too many people. Family is your friends. Family is the people that choose to be around you. Even like some people that maybe they have parents that again, people that raised me, they thought they did the best that they could, the absolute best that they could, with the knowledge that had been passed on and inculcated to them. But they also had a lot of traumas that, again, same with every parents. But so for anyone that was adopted or just didn't have the best upbringing, or had a good upbringing but they just didn't fit in, Fairy Tale definitely is like that gets you in the feels. It's really good. It's funny. They have a cat in there. Cats are great. We have this one episode where Lucy leaves and then they go try and get her back, and it's really good. I'm getting so many messages. I have to stop this video. So much stuff is happening. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to go. I love you guys. Bye.